Oh, shit.
Off to an awesome start.
Oh, there we go. That's right.
Oh,
Created on an iPhone.
I'm still proud of this song. It was pretty good.
It is eerie. I like my first one though the best. The Knife's Edge intro was by far.
Oh, that was good. That was very Australian sounding. We've actually put it accidentally in some of these episodes.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
hunt through the back catalog, you can find them.
Yeah. Hey, weirdos, it's me, Dan.
And your buddy Jake here.
Welcome to One Foot in the Grave podcast, the podcast that no one listens to. Now,
wait a minute now. Lisa sent us an email.
I tried to send her an email back, but it was going to send it from my personal email. So I just wanted to reach out and say, hey, Lisa, thank you. I'm so glad that you're okay. We're thinking about you.
Yeah. Yep. And I'm
obviously.
I'm sorry I called your husband, the Indian dude when he's a Native American.
Yeah, I mean,
she seemed to take it well.
Look, I mean, I'm sure
she knew what she was getting into when she listened to the podcast.
We've never been accused of being good people.
Or politically correct.
I just realized now, Aaron went out this morning to buy some coffee because we've run out. And,
right.
Nothing says panic like running out of coffee in a pandemic with children in the house.
People hoard toilet paper. So I didn't realize, do you have your, just sort of half knowingly order shit on Amazon? Like, you're like, oh, I need coffee, so I'll order coffee or whatever. And then I'll order this and that. I've had about 600 orders of K-Cups show up at the house. Because every time I'm on Amazon, I'm like, oh man, did I order coffee? I better order some coffee.
Get some more, just in case.
Now, we don't have any milk or cream, but we got coffee for about maybe 3 months.
Well, I mean, that's all you need, though. Like, if it came down to it, you could drink black coffee.
Oh, yeah.
But
yeah.
There's, look, I mean, I have been homeschooling for the last week.
How's that going?
It's hard.
It's not good. It's not well.
They are not going to be successful in life. Let's just say, I hope they're good at sweeping and mopping.
They'll have an extensive collection of hairnets and name tags.
Yeah, because they won't even be able to keep that fucking job.
Yeah,
because I'm not teaching them respect because I'm telling them to shut the fuck up all the time.
Oh, I know. Jack is swearing all the time now. I've really done a poor job of parenting. But, the thing that's going to protect them in a way, well, first of all, we're all going to die. So there's going to be a lot of job openings.
I mean, we're not all going to die of coronavirus, but
I would say a good number of us are going to. I'm predicting I am probably going to die of coronavirus. They were like, now, risk factors for people under 40 dying, or people under 50, I think it was. Number 1, BMI greater than 25. I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, I'm toast.
That's me out the window.
Yeah.
So I'll say hi to Dad for you, and then you'll die.
I've told Aaron that if they, for some reason, put me in intensive care and they have to hook me up to a ventilator, and they have me on a drip, if I start losing weight, it's not a big deal. They can let me waste. Let me waste. If I die skinny, it's okay.
Listen to the other predictive risk factor. Elevated ferritin level. No kidding. So mine's roughly 800. So high that I got tested for hemochromatosis. So yeah, no, I've got both those factors going for me, and
I'm in a whole lot of pain.
The physicians and healthcare workers are dying faster than everyone else, and they think it's because of the large viral burden that's taken in.
Well, yeah, I was going to say they're getting a huge viral load now. I think in countries that are not really inundated right now, they're not just dropping dead. But I think that some people are not taking it as seriously as others.
Well, I had a bit of a meltdown at some of my coworkers because they were. I didn't really melt down at them, but they were like, we don't even have a single case in the hospital. I said, no, hold on now. We haven't tested anybody who's been admitted to the hospital. We've got plenty of cases. And they're not, like, they're bringing them down through the department. Nobody's wearing a mask. Nobody's wearing gloves in the hospital. They're still going up and getting coffee and drinking it. And I was like, I'm going in, I'm putting on a mask before I walk in the building, and I'm not taking it off until I'm out of the building. That's,
because
we're short
it's
on
only
them.
one per doctor for the week.
No, it is. No, it's one per day.
They want you to keep it in a paper bag.
Yeah, and these aren't even like the good masks.
Yeah,
and they're like, no, don't wear a mask in the hospital. It will cause panic amongst the patients. I said, fuck the patients. You know what really cause panic is if the doctor drops dead in the hallway because he didn't wear a mask in the hospital. You dumb fuck.
Yeah,
the policymakers,
they
fucking assholes.
They made so I live in Queensland in Australia, and they made us all go out and vote at the polling stations yesterday. And if you didn't go out and vote, you get a $133 fine. And all of these people have got no jobs, so everyone's going out regardless of their health status because they can't afford a fine.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of.
It is and the reason behind it is that there has been no community transmission yet in Queensland.
That they've tested. Because I'll tell you how they give you that story. There's no community transmission. You have to have traveled in the last 2 weeks to get a test. So they don't know. They just that's fucking idiotic. This is what I'm saying. You know how I got upset the other day when we did this about the policymakers? They're the worst qualified people in the world. And if you were trying to kill 2% of your population, you couldn't do a better job of it than making policy that our so-called public health experts are making. I know I'm criticizing some of my fellow doctors, but they can go fuck themselves because they've got a lot of blood on their hands.
I said really early in this week that there's two pandemics occurring simultaneously. Stupidity is one of those pandemics, and it has been around for much longer. And the two pandemics of coronavirus or SARS-CoV-2 and stupidity are not mutually exclusive. You can most certainly be a complete fucking moron and still have fucking coronavirus.
Yeah, it seems to be there's a propensity for the stupidity to put you in a position of power. If you've caught the stupidity virus, you're now in a position of making decisions about the coronavirus. But I can't get my head around it. It's not a liberal conservative thing. It's not an America Canada thing. Everybody's doing a fucking terrible job. Fucking if you're in charge and you listen to this podcast, raise your right hand. Now slap your face with it. You're a fucking idiot.
Now the bright spot that has come out of these really fucking stupid decisions, especially here in Australia, is that the memes are on point.
Yeah, they're very good. Very good memes.
Our Prime Minister is like, only essential personnel will be allowed to go out into the workforce, blah, blah, blah. And then very next sentence, I cannot be any clearer. Every job is essential. Hairdressers, your jobs are essential. So you can go to the hairdresser for half an hour. That's an essential business. And then I got a message, and it was like they had taken a screenshot of their television and changed the headline underneath, and it was like, rub and tugs are still open. You can still go out and get your rub and tug, and brothels are not illegal here, and
so you can't smoke a joint, but you can go get AIDS at a brothel.
Yeah, it's really fucking stupid. What I would give to be able to get some pain relief that would actually work for me. I can't tell you the amount of pain that I'm in. It is.
So it sounds like the CBD oil made of hops doesn't work. It's not.
Oh, look, I mean, I don't know if it's, I think the pain is just so bad that I need actual stronger stuff. So like with THC in it or something. I don't actually know how any of it works in terms of the pain relief aspects.
So I think what was happening is that the reason the CBD oil worked is it had THC in it, and you were just getting high and forgetting how much pain you were in.
Well, maybe. Well, I don't know. Like people are swearing by it. But what's really bizarre is like, you know how I got those topical oils as well? They seem to actually work. They seem to actually work on my sore neck muscles within minutes. So, and it's not, I've been very objective about how I'm going about it. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm going to wait and I'm going to put it on and then I'm going to do this movement.
Oh, shit. I know what's wrong with you.
What?
Hey, let me do a doctor diagnosis on you.
Oh,
you got a new job.
This is telehealth.
You're working from home. Okay, telehealth.
I'm sitting here, all the fucking time. No.
We'll just share Dan's personal information, personal medical information. That's what this podcast is about.
Yeah, that's right.
Medical information to the masses. So
what's happening is the herpes.
So listen, you got a new
genitals.
job. Remember that anal fissure you had? Love it when people say it that way. Fissure.
Schedule. I mean, let's schedule in some telehealth here.
Schedule. Yeah, just because it's got a CH doesn't mean it's a sh. So here, listen, you got a new job. You're sitting at a computer, probably a laptop, right? And you're sitting in a way that you're looking downward at the computer.
Well,
and I'm going to tell you something. So just hear me out now.
Okay.
I had the most horrific neck pain. I thought I was going to need surgery. It was so bad. It started when I got into my radiology residency and it went right through till I was a fellow in Vancouver. And I put it together one day that there was this tall guy who I used to work for, and named Mike Mitchell, I think, and he was huge, like really tall dude, but looked like Abraham Lincoln. And he put his chair almost all the way to the floor. He was almost sitting on the floor with his legs stretched out in front of him. So his head was pointed straight at the computer monitor. And he always put the arms all the way as high as they would go. So he would take his weight on his arms and not take any like weight in his spine and stare straight ahead at the monitors. And I tried it, and after 3 days, I didn't have pain anymore. It was the most amazing, and I've never had it again, and I do that every time. Everybody's like, what are you, in Japan? When they come sit after me, because the chair's like right on the floor.
I know.
I'm a tall dude.
Mine is very ergonomically designed. I've got razors for my laptop, and my other screen raises as well, and my chair is low. But you know what also has happened? I think
just the stress.
Maybe I've got a little blood clot in my leg.
What?
Yeah, it started about a week ago on my calf, and it just felt like a Charlie horse, but it's just not going away, and it really hurts, and it's really deep into my calf muscle. And I haven't.
You need one of those measuring tapes that's like soft. That's just a floppy, the thing Taylor uses, and you measure from the bottom of your foot up halfway up your calf. And then put a mark on each side, and then measure the circumference of each calf, one like left and right. And if the sore one is bigger than the other one by more than a centimeter, you, my friend, could have a DVT.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure I do. So it's nothing to worry about. I've ordered some aspirin.
It can kill you. Aspirin, if you get coronavirus, will kill you.
I know.
So it's just it's a race to the finish.
One way or another. So I've been putting this CBD oil on my calf to no prevail. It's
right. Yeah, it doesn't treat blood clots, as it turns out.
As it turns out, it doesn't.
Are you not walking a lot? Like, I would think that with the kids home, you'd be like moving around all.
I'm moving around a little bit, but I'm sitting for like 3 hours at a time.
Oh, that's nothing. I sit like 12 hours a day.
Yeah, so that's why I'm not overly concerned that it's a blood clot. But there's also this huge bruise on the back of my calf.
You probably tore a muscle. You probably tore your plantaris or something.
I mean, I don't know how I would have done that, but it's just possible.
Just people listening to us complain about our medical situation.
So if you're listening to us from a ventilator, you've got nothing on my calf.
You know who's going to listen to this from a ventilator? Me. I'll be the one. I was right. Can't really talk around the tube. But now, if that happens, I will make a point of trying to listen to this podcast if I'm not in a medically induced coma, so that then you can fill in the listeners that, yeah, before he died, he did listen to this from the ventilator.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, some people would take the time to repent. Jake wanted to make sure that he was right.
I right-bented. It's very important to make peace with others, but it's more important to find out that you were right in the end. Which I am quite scared. I am quite scared.
I watched Onward last night. It's a Disney movie that was out in the theaters for about 2 days before coronavirus came, and they've decided to move it onto, well, you can download it from iTunes.
Right.
It is
not
so
on
good.
Their Disney Plus station?
I think it's going to Disney Plus on April 3rd, but I've already bought it, so I can
It's the magical troll with the pants? Something
I can
about a
hit
pair
you
of
up with
pants?
my password. Yeah.
Yes.
But not you, listeners.
Just me.
Just Jake.
I'm allowed to steal his password because he stole mine for everything else.
Yes.
At least once a week I get an email going, what's your Netflix password? Because Jack keeps putting in the wrong password and then it cancels out and I have to change the password.
You have to go over to Mum's house. Jack tried to put his Nintendo onto Mum's main television.
Oh, yeah.
He's unplugged the Ethernet cable from the Vibe
Oh God!
box.
No,
Mum can't watch television.
I checked that the Ethernet cable's plugged in, but I'll tell you, ours is broken too. So he's done something to both of them. I don't know what he's done. Fucking kid, man. He's like he reminds me
you would fix it
of the kid in Big Hero 6 a little bit. You know, like he's really into only that kid actually made a functioning electronic thing. Jack he's an electronics destroyer.
It turns out that the coronavirus causes mutations, and now he's electromagnetic man.
It's just erasing hard drives everywhere he walks. Man.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, whatever.
So one thing I learned about him, though, that's kind of nice, he can throw a football like fucking Tom Brady. I can't believe it. I can't throw a spiral. I can't throw a football. That kid, he can hit you square in the chest from like one side of my house to the other side, outside. It's unbelievable. The arm on him is a cannon.
Well,
anyway.
You live in a double wide, Jake. That's not a huge feat.
I'm going to be living in a double wide. So what we've done, thanks coronavirus. Thanks, China. Thanks, Justin Trudeau.
China.
And it's going to get so fucking bad. There's going to be refrigerator trucks full of bodies. Anyway, it's so depressing. But what we've had to do, we've canceled all our elective cases. I think I was telling you this last time. But that means that, my income is based on how many cases I read. So normally we do 100 CTs in a day between, 3 people and probably 40 MRIs in a day. And we'd read, 40 or 50 ultrasounds and that kind of thing. Now we're doing like 1 ultrasound, 5 CTs, 5 MRIs, and no plain films. So just that's it. And then the procedures are still going on, but that's only a small part of like our total income. So my projected income for this month is like $1,400. My mortgage payments are $1,500 bi-weekly. I've got a little bit of money put aside, but I don't have enough to pay my own salary that I was paying myself. Anyway, I may have to lay off my wife and my mom. That'll be fun.
Sorry. Two more added to the queues for the dole.
Yeah, and this is great. So fucking everybody's pulling together. Like I got to say, I wouldn't want to work in a grocery store right now. That's a stressful gig for like $15 an hour, right?
Yeah.
That's a tough gig. And they're serving the community. They're really sticking to it. They're keeping the food supply going. The truckers are doing their job. Frontline healthcare workers, 45 Italian doctors have died. And people are just like, yeah, we might die, but we're here for you. This is what we signed up for. Then all the Service Canada employees who run, employment insurance, EI, or, the POKI or whatever you call it, wherever you are, they en masse said these work conditions aren't safe. and they left and they locked all the buildings so nobody can get there. They had 1 million EI applications, and they said, "Oh, we'll come up with a online plan." They're not on EI. They're still getting full pay to be at home doing fucking nothing because they thought it was unsafe to help their fellow man. And
allegedly.
No, that's happened. They've closed it. Their union has said we're not working. And then so nobody can access their employment insurance. So they're really relying on everybody to just say, look, you don't have to pay your bills this month. But that means nobody, the big companies are going to go out of business if they keep this up.
Yeah.
And then we have this guy in our group. We have some women in our group, right? And I kind of had this feeling like all the women are moms. And, it's not going to be a politically correct thing to say, but moms are pretty much more important to kids than dads. You know what I mean? Like, especially young kids. They all have kids. Well, most of them have kids. And so I was kind of half thinking we should probably tell the women they don't have to go to work if they don't want to. And they'll call me sexist or whatever, but maybe if they've already met and talked about that, they'd be like, oh, thank you, because you don't want it.
Yeah.
I'd rather I got sick than they got sick, basically.
Well, yeah, because you don't want to have to be a parent.
Well, realistically, chances are we'll all live, but one or two of us won't. And it's like rolling the dice a little bit, right? But we're trying to think about tactfully, like we've been talking about this tactfully. How do we bring this up without sounding like chauvinist fuckfaces, right? Because you don't want to say, listen, women are inherently weak. We can do this work for them. But at the same time...
Actually, women are more likely to survive this virus than men.
Absolutely. And so we kind of said, well, we're not going to bring it up yet, but if people are uncomfortable, we want to give them the ability to get out, right? So after that discussion, fucking one of the older guys in the group, not old, but, was like, this is too dangerous for me. I'm not going to continue coming in to work. Just give me the paycheck. Like, said, dude, what the fuck? Women and children, okay? I get it. If one of these moms said, look, I got kids at home, they rely on me. If I die, the husbands can't raise kids. They'll turn into little cave people. But no, this old guy whose family's all grown up, and they're all on their own. No, too risky for him. Like, you fucking pussy. I'm so mad at him. He's a good friend of mine. I'm mad. Anyway.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, he's not interventional radiology. So he's going in and sitting in an office and reading.
Well, then
Well, no, you can't. If there's a CT, if there's a reaction to a contrast agent, or if you need to do an ultrasound or whatever, you need to be there for a couple things, not everything. No, he doesn't want to take that risk. Well, we're in there fucking putting, NG tubes in people, aerosolizing everything. No, too risky for him.
Enough, though, he'll be the first to go into the ER then. That's what I would say. Look.
Okay, well, that's what. So I wrote back, dibs on the ventilator, fuckface.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'll tell you what. I'll tell you the sad truth of the ventilators. I think once you need them, only about 5 or 10% of people survive after that.
I mean,
it's not like it's going to save your life. Don't.
No. Even
don't
in
assume
my world,
you're going to be
like
okay.
If it's 50-50, and that's if the owners of the animal that we put them on can afford it. Not that it matters anymore, because all of our ventilators have now gone to humans. So it doesn't matter.
Did they give the veterinary ones to the hospitals?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's a kind gesture. Now, if you're 30 and you don't panic. If you need a ventilator and you're 30, you're probably, I assume you're going to come out the other side of that most likely, since that's what
you're
the
not going to know.
Say.
If it gets to the stage where you're in the hospital and they're like, we're going to have to ventilate this guy.
No. Listen to this. This is a terrible podcast. It is our fucking scariest podcast. I'll tell you that much. So people are coming in for dry cough or for other stuff, for stuff that's totally unrelated to COVID. They put them on a SAT monitor. Their SATs are in the 70s. They don't even feel it. They can't tell. Or they come in with that headache, and the headache's because you don't have any oxygen. So they don't realize how sick they are. So they've realized if you're not holding your SATs on room air, it's better just to ventilate them right away because they're going to crash. And then what happens is they get to a certain point, you get things kind of stable, and then they go into this, it's called a cytokine storm, where your immune system just explodes.
Cytokines produced by the monocytes and the macrophages.
That's right. Their immune system goes insane.
Stimulate the liver to produce acute phase proteins.
Well, and then they die.
Protein.
Yeah. You basically go into shock and you die.
I teach on this. This is what I do. It's ironic that I've taken on an educator role, but I cannot educate my children.
If you were teaching them veterinary surgery, you could probably educate them.
It's like veterinary things only is my area of expertise.
Look, man, if we can't clamp down, like if they're still doing elections in Australia, you're going to have, I'd say 5 days from now, you're going to have 2,000 new cases just from the election.
Absolutely. But I was saying to Mom, because all of our let's face it, all of our conversations are based on COVID at the moment.
Yeah.
And I was saying to Mom that they will deny it and they will find another reason why we've had this huge spike.
Yeah.
After people have been to the polls.
Everybody's passing the buck. Did you hear the guy from the WHO come on and he was like, we gave you ample warning and your elected officials ignored it. And then you go back like 2 days before and he's saying, there's no proof that this is transmissible between humans. There's nothing to panic about here. Fucking assholes every step of the way. And you know what? They probably hired the guy because they wanted to make some politically correct statement, and like our one is the same thing. She's just doing exactly what you would. They came out when we got our first couple cases in Canada, and people were saying maybe we shouldn't be flying planes from Wuhan into Canada. She said that's extremely racist, and she shut down the question period. And when the Conservatives went in and said you can't be flying flights from China and Iran into Canada right now, they called them racist, and then they said the biggest threat to Canada is your racist behavior. And then they brought in, 750 cases of COVID, let them mingle around in all the big city markets, and just fucking destroyed the country. Like a bunch of fucking stupid cocksuckers. I'm so fucking mad. I'm so mad. If you were trying to kill 2% of your population, you couldn't do a better job than our fucking public health officials.
What I watched the other night that was really helpful.
Onward, the Disney movie.
No, Contagion.
Oh yeah,
really good.
Now, is Contagion the one about the Ebola virus outbreak? Like it's like a hemorrhagic fever, or is it?
No, it was. I think that was Outbreak.
Right.
Yeah. No, Contagion is more recent, and it's so close. It's like it's so close to reality that we're feeling right now, because they were like, we have to lock down everyone. Everyone has to stay in their house. That's the only way. Social distancing, like they actually use that terminology, is the only way that we can contain this right now. And then the politicians are like, but what about who is going to look after the children? All of these health workers are going to have to stay at home. And like they were making all the same arguments.
All the same mistakes.
It was like they were, it's like they used this as a study. Like, how can I be the worst politician? Let's watch this movie and emulate these fuckwits who've made terrible decisions on this Hollywood film. I
said, the most predictable thing that could have happened is what happened. Only there's no hero to stand up and fix this, right? Like, no matter what, I mean, I can do so much with the patients, and then I'm going to get it. And then there's, and then every other doctor's in the same boat, and there's nothing you can do to stop it from progressing. And the other thing that's really irritating me is a bunch of fucking people who are my friends think it's a fucking hoax. They're like, this is just the government wrestling control out of your hands, and you're giving it up so easily. I'm like, oh, fuck you. I hate the government more than anybody in the world. I mean, I'm not Timothy McVeigh, but, certainly not a fan.
I am the death tractor guy. What was that guy?
Haymeyer. Marvin Haymeyer. Or whatever his name was. The death dozer. Killdozer.
Killdozer.
That was a good episode. Go back and find that episode. Although we don't name the episodes anything to do with what's actually happening.
Yeah, no. Well, it's because they're all fucking useless nonsense.
The closest one was the good, the Vlad, and the ugly. That was that was good. You could guess what that episode's about.
The usual SARS packs. Come on.
That was a really good name.
That was really good, right?
Yeah, I think that was.
I
that
patted
was
myself on the
so
back
far.
for that little punny thing.
So what's the toilet paper situation going on over there?
And no, I don't have any toilet paper. We have taken to, clean ourselves like cats.
Just lick it. Going to yoga. You don't need toilet paper if you've gone to yoga. Oh, you mean like you can do a clean drop every time? No, that you can lick your anus.
No, I've still got my industrial rolls. The people from Who Gives a Crap, that's the name of the delivery service that we used before.
Okay.
It is so good because, we had 4 rolls left when I last spoke to you. And it's kind of like the loaves and fishes. They just keep wiping. And I think it's because they use the rolls have got so much more toilet paper on them. So
Yeah, and they're single ply, I assume. So you got
No. Double ply, thank you very much. Double ply bamboo softness for my booty. I did have to make another order from Officeworks though, because there's no cleaner. We cannot get our hands on surface cleaner. So Aaron got some spray and wipe, but it's full pure bleach. So it just if you get it on your clothes, it leaves all these bleach marks and stuff. So I went on to that Officeworks site and I got 15 liters of spray and wipe because they didn't have any small bottles.
Yeah, they only send an industrial quantity.
Yeah, so you
good,
have to get the industrial ones. But I figured
Does it come in a vat and you have to add water so it doesn't burn your skin?
No, I think you can use it undiluted, but it does come in a huge vat. So I had to buy some spray bottles as well to decant them into.
I've been really worried about our precarious liquor supply because as this situation has developed, I've turned into an alcoholic. So I can't. Well, it's not healthy. It's not a healthy way to deal, but it's how I deal. I come home, I work till 4:00 when I'm working from home. Now my isolation's over, so I'm definitely at more risk now than before.
Are you going out into the community?
No, God, no. Fuck that. No.
Oh.
So I'm still planning on moving out of my own house.
Mum is desperate to get some CBD oil. She has run out. Without it, she gets nightmares.
Now, our cousin was supposed to get it for her. But he, I think he gets it on the black market. And, dried up,
we're such a legit family. We don't like to do things on the that can get us arrested. Because where I would hate to be right now? Jail.
Prison.
So,
here's the other side of all this. They're taking the prisons are high risk for an outbreak, like a cruise ship, right? And so, in the interest of safety, they're releasing prisoners. But at the same time, they're fucking arresting you. If you're on self-isolation, you're out in your car. I was like, man, I'm going... I'm so worried about it because I'm only going from my house to my house. I got I'm taking care of 2 places.
My house to my house. I'm going to my house.
I gotta go in the car. I'm not stopping for gas. I'm not getting out. I'm not seeing anybody. I'm not putting anyone at risk.
Oh, look, pumping gas is a fucking hectic little situation too, because you've got to touch that feral handle to put it.
Yeah, but just don't.
All of a sudden,
don't touch your face.
I know, but all of a sudden we've become hyper aware of germs, right?
Yeah.
So you used to just pump gas and whatever, off your pub, have a cup of coffee. Life's easy. And now it's oh, do I have a dead pixel? I think I do. Motherfuck.
Oh no.
I see dead pixels. So now it's this really bizarro world where you're super hyper aware and you don't have any hand sanitizer. We went for a walk just in our own community yesterday, just as a family.
Yeah.
Alice was on the horse. The rest of us were on foot. And the horse bumped into someone's trash can.
Yeah.
And instinctively, I just kind of reached out and replaced it. And then I was like, ugh.
Yeah. That's I've
Like,
everything. And here's the other thing: when they deliver mail, right? That mail.
my poor mailman.
Somebody
He's
could have
this young
sneezed on
guy.
it.
He's younger than me.
Yeah.
And I've got a sign out on our front door that says, we're going to stay 1.5 meters away, so no one comes to the door and expects.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
It's kicking off again.
Yeah. Oh. And that, for some reason, that triggered Siri. How
When
weird.
you said, "Oh, sorry."
Oh, yeah. But he was like, he said it to me and he was like, "Are you guys quarantined?" Like he was like legitimately worried that we were sick. And I was like, "Oh no, we're just in self-isolation." And he was like, "Oh, I'm so scared, man. Like I'm touching all of these packages. A lot of them are coming from China. And, I've got to use my hands." And then I had an express post one from, I'm not so worried about the ones that obviously come on ship because they've been in transit for months. But I had an express post one from New York yesterday and I had to touch it with my hands. And he was like, "I'm just so worried." And I was like, "Oh man, I wish I could do something for you." Like normally we would.
Well,
like,
you do
make
have
some...
15 liters of hand sanitizer.
No, we don't have any hand sanitizer. No, we don't have any hand sanitizer. We had those tiny little bottles that Mum gave us for Christmas for 4 years, but they're gone.
Yeah, I've got one in my car for the gas pump situation.
It's terrible. So I felt so bad because normally I would say, "Oh, well, look, let's bake some cookies for him or something like that and leave them on the porch for him next time he comes." But no one's going to want that. Like, what is
you can't
what is a
cook for them.
gift that you can give somebody to say thank you for it? Like, because without mail, we're
toilet
all
paper.
fucked.
Basically toilet paper.
Well, I don't know. I think he has toilet paper, probably.
So I'm like, with the mail, I'm opening it and throwing the box out right away.
Mm-hmm.
And then I shake the stuff out of the box so that it's on my floor. Then I wash my hands. Then I grab a Clorox wipe, and I'm running out of those. And then I wipe off the packages before I'll bring them into the house. And if they're not easy to wipe off, I just leave them in the entryway for 3 days.
Yeah, well, that's what I've had to do too with all my perfumes.
There's a fire sale. There's a fire sale on cologne right now. Nobody wants it. So you're probably getting all the estate sale cologne. All the dead COVID patients.
No. These are things that I've ordered like months ago, and they take forever because they come from the UK. So it's it's the oil that the perfumers use to make the actual product. So they have this concentrated perfume oil, and then they mix it with alcohol, and they bottle it and send it away. But I've got a source in the UK that makes the perfume oil for those people, and then just sells the perfume oil as it is.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Unbranded. So that comes. But
So
it
you're
takes
buying
a while
black
to
market
get
perfume.
Well, I don't think it's black market.
Gray
I think
market.
It's just not branded. Yeah, and it's not a spray. It's just an oil that you have to put on your skin.
Who knew that existed?
Me.
That's cool. Yeah, you've done research.
Yeah, so now I can smell like a boss and, balling on a budget.
Geez. Yeah, I had a mail story, but I can't remember.
Well, my shorts came. My shorts came, so I bought some sleep shorts knowing that my lifestyle only really is pajamas and jeans.
There is a good meme. I got to turn on
I got my...
Sorry.
They came from Wuhan. Fucking no joke. So I took them out of their package in the driveway, and initially I was like, "Oh, I'm just like, a couple weeks ago, I was like, I'm just going to toss them right into the bin. I'm not going to open them."
Yeah.
And this poor postman dropped it off to me, and I was like, "Well, I guess if he can touch it, I can touch it." So I opened it up and outside and left all the packaging outside because the bin was down at the curb, and I took them inside, and because now my lifestyle is all pajama bottoms, so I was like, oh, it would be a waste not to use them. So then I washed them with bleach, and I'll probably wear them tonight. So
They're white
10
now.
days. They're
Bleached
white
them.
now. Yeah, they
bleached
were
color
gray.
out of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've bleached so much. My
Man,
anus is glowing.
There was in the before COVID, there was this trend happening. Okay, everybody hates each other, as you know, but I think this was real. So there was a trend happening that all of my friends, now I don't have any real friends, but I have some Twitter friends. Most of them are pretty conservative people, but they were making fun of this because it was like these liberal yoga retreats where part of the yoga was to expose your anus to the sun. And they were trying to like,
Oh my gosh.
can you imagine how, if you were looking for a sign that Earthlings were unprepared for a pandemic, large groups of people showing their assholes to the sun because they thought it would give them more power or flexibility is that's a pretty good sign that we're soft, fucked up, stupid culture.
If you do this for long enough, your anus absorbs the sun, and the sun will shine out of your anus.
I've seen a lot of memes going around about like what we thought we should be wearing for the apocalypse, and it's like the Mad Max stuff with like the leather undershorts and then what we're wearing for the apocalypse, and it's like pajama pants and Hello Kitty t-shirts.
Yeah,
it's pretty.
And that's the smart people.
It's pretty. Those are the survivors.
Yeah.
This is such a fucking shit show. I don't know. I was looking at this really depressing mathematical curve, and it talks about how, on average, it takes 25 days to die of this virus from the time you catch it till the time you die of it. And on average, about 1% of people die of it, assuming the hospital's not overrun like in Italy. And you look at the numbers today, and you take 1% of that, and in 25 days, that number of people is going to die. But on top of that, the new diagnoses of the virus it's increasing by 24% per day. So 24% of the total number of people who have it will be newly diagnosed tomorrow. And then if you do the social distancing or whatever, it's 12%. But no matter what way you look at it, at some point, there are going to be more people dying in America every day than died in the World Trade Center attack. And that's
absolutely.
That's how badly we've fucked up. I mean, we're talking about more than World War II. We're talking millions around the world.
Yeah, well, I mean, how many people have it? Like 500,000 people have it now. So
that's how many have been tested and come back positive. How many people are floating around in your community with it? Got to be
okay. So
millions.
I'm getting these breaking news stories, right? So the newest breaking news story. Keep in mind, polling was opened yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Queensland news. Under new social distancing rules, Queenslanders will not be allowed to have more than 10 people in their homes, effective immediately.
Yeah, we got that one.
There were hundreds of people under the same roof, breathing the same air yesterday.
Stupid.
That they were holding on to this until today to release it, so people are like, oh, well, I mean, we listened to the social distancing rules, and everything was on par when we did the polling stations.
So stupid. Oh, it's so stupid. It's so predictable and so stupid and so depressing.
It's so dumb. Anyway,
let me give you some good news, though. Let me give you the silver lining of this. This is the way I see it.
At least 1% of the people that you don't like are going to die.
Well, no, that's true. But listen, what are some of the things that old people have that young people generally don't like, but that you do like? To me,
mothballs.
Luxury cars.
Ooh.
All right, bear with me.
Mm-hmm.
They've got all the Mercedes S-classes.
I thought we were just talking about things that old people do that we don't like. And
no, there's
mothballs is definitely one of those things.
Peeing their pants. There's so many things, but
urinary incontinence.
Yeah, anal incontinence. It's just this.
The list goes on.
Flabby. Yeah, the flabby fart sounds that come out of people when they get up off their couch.
That was me after my colonoscopy. I cannot ever complain about people making farty sounds when I woke myself up with the sounds of my farts.
Just their stoma is flapping. Anyway, no, but I'm thinking about cars, and I was thinking, like, man, there's going to be a glut of, like, Mercedes S-classes, BMW 7 Series, because it's all shit that we can't afford, that old people have saved their whole lives, and they buy a nice car. They're going to die. So if I don't die, I might buy myself a cool car at the end of this when they come really cheap. because they're all going to be
Yeah,
estate
but
sale
then
cars,
they'll be
right?
like, I know, but then you'll be like, oh, it's hot out today, and you'll put the
Turn
air
on the
conditioning
AC and get COVID
on. You'll
again.
be like pelted with coronavirus, and they'll be like,
Well, I'll tell you,
"Ooh."
I've
And
come
then another
to
person will be
accept.
like, you know what I'm looking forward to? I'm looking for those dumb fuckers who buy all those used Mercedes.
Get them on the second wave.
Yeah, and I'll get them after the coronavirus has been purged from the air conditioning units.
Well, I am a hypochondriac. I hate being sick. I hate it. But I've pretty much come to accept that I'm going to get sick. We live in, I love New Brunswick, but it is the asshole of North America,
Well,
essentially.
no, it's beautiful. It's
beautiful, but the government is so
well,
poor.
the government.
They're
but
so,
I mean, the government.
so
but
stupid.
they just did it. My government, and that's in Queensland, in Australia.
I'll tell you what your government didn't do, though, was send all your medical supplies to China as a pandemic outbreak was
who
occurring.
knows, though? They would just do that and not tell us. They'd be like, "We've sent
they didn't
aid
tell us.
to China."
They didn't tell us. The journalist found out. But we don't have. I mean,
I've got
they're
a
like, you
journalist
know what?
friend.
You
I
have
feel-
ample supplies. I said, okay. What are our supplies? How many N95 masks do we have? There are enough. Enough for a week, or enough for 2 weeks, or enough for 6 months? Because this isn't going to go away. You haven't done a good job. There are enough. There's ample supplies. Meanwhile, out comes the memo: put on a mask in the morning and don't take it off until you go home at night. You have one mask today.
Well, here they've also left all
They
the
don't work
schools
after you
open.
breathe into them for 5 hours.
They've left all the schools open here.
Yeah,
And
horrendous, stupid
The
mistake.
teachers are like, "Hey, I'm scared. Can you please help me?" And they're like, "We have sent all the things that you need in order to stay safe." And the teacher's like, "We've run out of hand soap first week." And then the government is like, "Well, we've sent hand sanitizers to every classroom." And this
don't work,
teacher
by the way.
friend of mine posted, they sent her a 60 ml hand sanitizer bottle for her and the entire class. It's like, that would last until lunchtime.
The government is
idiots.
just telling you, frankly, we don't care if you die. We're going to take credit when this is all over and say that we were heroes, and when you die, it doesn't matter to us at all. We
Exactly.
don't care that we did it to you. We're going to claim credit for a success when this eventually, when somebody comes up with a vaccine and it gets administered and people stop getting the coronavirus, we're going to pat ourselves on the back. We're going to go in the news and say what heroes we were. And the fact that you die has no consequence.
The thing is that they're just so stupid. And that's the thing. Like, they're not in these powerful positions because of their medical knowledge, but they are managers of other people, and those other people are not the people who should be in those positions.
Well, they find that token whore of a doctor, whatever whore doctor you have in your country, who will just say what the politicians want them to say,
and that's exactly
and that's
right.
their
Yeah,
that's
and they're not,
that
they're not
person
looking
in Canada.
after-
I want to see that person go to prison when this is over. And,
Like,
and
they're
they're
not-
like,
well,
on my
oh my
forums
gosh,
where I'm getting all the
there's-
information, people are saying, look, I'm in public health. I'm working so hard. You can't criticize. No, we are criticizing. I'm criticizing. You're doing a fucking terrible job. Now,
we have
if
to
you're in
be-
public health and they're
someone
like,
has to
no,
be
not listening to
accountable.
you, that's one thing. If you're like, we need to test everybody, find out who's positive and quarantine them, and they're saying, we're not going to do that, well, then you've done a job. You've done your job well. You've done what you can. And, you keep fighting. But if they're telling you what to say, and then you're going in front of the cameras saying, there's nothing to worry about. It would be racist to stop flights from China. Then you've killed people. You should go to fucking prison for murder. For mass murder.
I
You should
think
be tried at
what
the
they're
Hague, you
doing-
fucking cocksucker.
What they're doing is they're not looking after the individual. They are trying to, I don't even know what they're trying to do, but it feels as though they are trying to keep people as calm as possible so they're not buying all the groceries. And then, we have mass suffering rather than, and sick people, because not only are the sick people suffering, but the healthy people are suffering too, because they
but there are
can't
ways to
access-
do that. You say, okay, the grocery stores, you don't let people buy more than one thing of toilet
Well, that's
paper
what
at a
they're
time.
that's what they're doing here, but it's
That's-
still everyone's going like multiple times. So it's just per transaction. They're not taking your driver's license and swiping.
Yeah,
it
that's
and
fine
keeping
though.
track.
I mean, most people won't. I honestly, as long as they protect the food supply chain, most people won't fall apart. But they're not doing their job to protect the food supply chain because they're not testing anybody. I mean, fuck, it's one person at the depot is sick. Everybody at the depot gets sick. This isn't this isn't like influenza where most of us are immune to it.
If I was running the country, well, which I should be, obviously, I would say, okay, people born in May, today's your day to grocery shop. You can, there's still limits on what you can buy, but
100%,
we've made those limits so you can get through an entire week. And then you do that, and they'll have security guards who will check your license and say, month of May, off you pop, go do your thing. And that's going to stagger the number of people who are going to go to the shops. And
now, you do too much, though, and like you see in Italy now, people start to riot, right? And then you're stuck between.
I know, but people are
then
going
you're stuck
to
between
riot.
a rock and a hard place because when they riot, they're also getting the virus, and then they're showing up 25 days later. So it's people. There are a lot of assholes who don't understand. I mean, you're not an asshole if you don't understand. We didn't all get a fucking science degree or a math degree, but it's really hard to explain the basics of how this works to people who are like, my liberties are being infringed upon. I'm saying, man, do it voluntarily so your liberties don't get completely trampled on, because the next step is us in fucking breadlines, because our dollar is going to be worth zero.
Oh, totally.
And
you know what? They're already getting the army involved over here. So the army is making everyone go into
making
lockdown.
sure everyone votes.
but they're still making you go out and vote. Anyway, did you have any supernatural shit to talk about? Because we're gonna wrap this fucking depressing as.
This is a shit podcast. Sorry, guys. But anyway, it's mostly a public
I mean, you're
service
not.
now.
I mean, look,
I do.
we do not speak on behalf of our companies, and their companies do not share our.
I'm the CEO of my company. I'm
The
speaking on
only
behalf of them.
the only way I've managed to keep the children quiet while I'm trying to work
This
is
with
by telling them
CBD oil.
if they're loud, then we will lose the house. Because it's
That's
not
true.
like
You have to be awesome. You have to be awesome at your job right now to keep it. 'Cause
Yeah.
You got to sell the shit out of that, whatever it is, veterinary equipment that they're giving to the hospitals.
Well, I don't sell stuff. See, I'm an educator, so
So
I
I've been,
guess maybe people will be on lockdown and be like, oh, well, I guess we've watched all of Netflix. Maybe we'll talk to Dan for an hour about some veterinary shit.
you should advertise that. That's good. I have been watching a lot of YouTube. I don't know about you. There's new BuzzFeed Unsolveds are coming out.
Yeah.
True crime
I
ones
don't
are
like
pretty
the
good.
Unsolved so much as I like the supernatural.
Yeah, I like those ones better because they usually go on a road trip too, right?
Yeah,
but they won't be
I don't
because
care about the
everybody's
story.
still
I mean,
locked down.
I'm saying that in contrast to doing a paranormal and true crime podcast where you can't even see, but but I like it when they go out and they get scared because that's my favorite. I like the comedy aspect of it.
What I find, now this is just a guess. I'm guessing people are not going to listen to our podcast in this time because when you're home, you're watching TV generally. You're not listening to a podcast. And the podcast is for the car. You know what I mean? That's been
Well, they might be on a treadmill. They might be, doing a poop, and they need to focus on the push instead of the view. It depends on how much protein shake you're having.
But other than these new Unsolved videos, anyway, I've watched most of YouTube, as you know.
I finished it.
Well, I think I might have finished YouTube. I got to did I send you the Mark Ornstein Freestyle Canoe Championship finals?
Yeah, and you're like, I
Lady in
finished the
Red.
internet.
And I was like, man, I did it. I
It's
finished
most
the internet.
bizarre thing. It's so bizarre. But you know what? I think in these times where people are stressed, I know that it's weird to listen and watch ASMR, but I'm just going to put it out there. ASMR Darling, Marno ASMR, Goodnight Moon, and Caroline ASMR, as well as GB ASMR. Those are the 5 ASMR artists that you should be looking up on YouTube right now to have a 30-minute chill time with someone folding your clothes and giving you a little back tickle in a virtual area No one has to know that you listen to it unless you do a podcast called One Foot in the Grave. Yeah. And it's really, really nice.
And if you whack off to it, let us know, because that's we're trying to determine if it's sexual or not.
It's not. It's not sexual.
It is for some people. Why is it always... Okay, here's my question about ASMR videos on YouTube. Why do they always have the ring light so their eyes look like Japanese cartoon eyes? And why is it always attractive women with big lips?
Well, Marno is not an attractive woman. He's a weird-looking dude, but he's really good at ASMR.
Yeah, I was thinking of the last time when you were like, LGBTQ. I don't know. That's quite a mouthful. That's what he said. So that was the best joke on the podcast. It's our best joke so far. Anyway, what I was getting at with the YouTube stuff is that one thing that I haven't watched.
It's so good. I really did. That was a good
one thing that I was never into is sports, really. You know, I played basketball. I was in rowing and stuff, but I never watched any sports.
No.
And I started watching baseball highlights for some reason. And it's really quite entertaining. Like when you look up Major League Baseball oddities, MLB oddities, it's all kinds of crazy stuff, like the catcher getting the ball stuck in his mask. That was a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff like that. I like that. When people fall in the dugout but catch the ball as they're doing it. That's cool.
The other thing that you can look up is near-death experiences. And, I mean, now it's just going to be like, I went to the shops. But it's some of them are really cool. Like this guy was in one of those giant inflatable spheres, and he was going down a hill somewhere in a more beautiful country, and it went off course, and it jumped the fence, and it went over a cliff, and he just fell. Maybe
he survived.
Maybe that was not a near death, and just
that was a death experience. I think that guy died. I saw that.
I don't remember the specifics. I just remember watching it and going, "Oh, crazy."
Well, let me give you the most esoteric. This is the most esoteric case I've discussed on what the hell is this One Foot in the Grave podcast? Because I was talking about baseball, and I was trying to look up weird true crime stuff about baseball.
Pine tar.
Well, yeah, there was. I thought about that, but then I was like, everybody knows that.
Cork-filled baseball bats. Filled baseball bats.
This one I guarantee you won't have heard of. The guy's name was Len Kanicki, and he was a baseball player in the 30s. Died in 1935, and I just kind of want to tell you about how this guy died. He played for the Brooklyn Dodgers and the New York Giants, and in 1933, he was playing for there were like different leagues. It wasn't all Major League Baseball, so it was the International League Buffalo Bisons. He wasn't bad. He hit a .334, which is a pretty good batting average. I think the average now is like .298 or whatever.
Who the fuck?
And drove in 100 runs batted in and hit 8 home runs in the 33 season. In 34, he joined the Dodgers, the Brooklyn Dodgers, before they moved to LA.
Oh, the kids are driving me crazy. I'm sorry about that.
This is a real short one. And that year he hit 14 home runs and 73 runs batted in. And he set a National League fielding record with a percentage of .994. So he was a pretty good player. But he also was, like me,
I just want to say that you're really talented at making even exciting stories sound boring.
Everyone loves baseball stats on their True Crime Garage podcast.
Anyway, this guy
True Crime Garage,
horrific. He
One
had
foot
a
in the grave.
baseball average of .297.
Well, what I'm getting at is he started out, he was a pretty good baseball player, and then he turned into a drunk, and apparently quite a mean drunk. And he showed up drunk for a game and was cut from the team on September 16th, 1935. Had this like massive rage incident, and 1 day later he would be dead. So after being sent home from the trip that the team was on, he caught a commercial flight for New York City, and during the flight, he drank a quart of whiskey and harassed other passengers and struck a stewardess. Not a good guy, just a fucking mean drunk.
Doesn't sound like a happy fella.
Yeah. The pilot had to sit on him to restrain him, and he was shackled to his seat.
Who landed the plane?
Well, it was flying with no pilot for a brief period. No, listen. So he was removed unconscious from the flight in Detroit, and they left him at the airport sleeping in a chair. This was, when men were men, right? Now there'd be like they'd come out with the police cars and they'd be pulling them off the plane, and it'd be like the bomb squad and the terrorist thing. Anyway, so he decided he was going to rejoin the Bisons, and when he woke up in the airport, and he chartered a plane. And it was chartered, but there was another passenger on it. He was flying to Toronto, where the Bisons were playing. And while he was flying over Canada, he got into a disagreement with the pilot and a passenger, and attempted to take control of the aircraft himself. It's like, listen, do you know how many runs I've added in? I can fly this fucking plane. We're gonna go see the Bisons. In order to avoid a crash, Kanicki was hit over the head with a fire extinguisher by both the pilot, who had left the controls, and the other passenger. After an emergency landing in the Long Branch racetrack in Toronto, it was found that Kanicki had died of a cerebral hemorrhage. The pilot and the other passenger were charged with manslaughter. Oh, fuck, the dog was in the window, scared the shit out of me. But they were found not liable by the coroner's inquiry after. So that's the story of Len Kanicki. Nobody knows who he is. He was a baseball player in the 30s, and just a raging asshole. And
well, I mean, I guess that's proof that they've always existed.
Yeah. I mean, if I go with a fire extinguisher over the head, look. 2 months ago, my biggest worry was I was going to get pancreatic cancer in 20 years. I was happy. I miss that worry. I miss that concern.
Days.
The most dangerous part of my job was that I'd pick up a bloodborne illness that would kill me literally in 15 to 20 years. Now, I mean, I could be dead in 25 days.
Who knows? Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Man, oh man.
We'll wrap this up by saying everyone should go watch or listen to ASMR, because it's really nice. It's calming. It will give you some time out. Put your headphones in and just watch it or listen to it. Whatever.
This is a fucked up time for all of us, and I don't know. I'm going to be able to pay the bills for about 2 or 3 months, and then I'm out too. But you know what? I'm not. This is my advice to everyone. Don't worry. It's going to get better eventually. It's probably going to peak in like a month and a half, and you're going to be like, "This is hell." And then eventually it'll get better.
And then it'll just get better. And then we'll look back on it and go, remember that?
That was like our Vietnam. We're all very soft. We'll come out of this a lot harder. I'm going to fucking shoot some food, I think.
I'm definitely going to work from home more.
Yeah, I might quit my job when all this is said and done. The patients, I'll have given enough at that point. I'll just say, fuck it. I'll maybe start doing something like you're doing. Teaching from home. I don't know. Maybe I can teach at a med school or something. But take this opportunity, hang out with your family. I got to leave my family next week. That fucking sucks.
Where are you going? Are you going to go live at Mom's house?
Yeah, that's for at least 2 weeks and get the feels out.
Terrible,
for if
terrible
it's safe.
idea.
Well, no. I think everyone's doing that.
No. They're putting medical staff up at hotels for free.
No, man, they're going to turn those hotels. You'll see what's going to happen to those hotels.
Them hotels are morgues.
Don't even. No, but they're going to be COVID wards, and don't even ask what's going to happen to everybody's refrigerator trucks and hockey rinks and shit, because that's coming.
Well, they've already turned some into morgues.
But look, it's going to get better. We're going to be laughing again, and
it's going to get worse before it gets better, and then it's going to get worse again, and then you'll just be doing your day-to-day thing, which always feels like living in the doldrums. Anyway,
stay safe.
Listen to some ASMR. Share this podcast with your friends. Go on TikTok, make some TikToks, because the TikTok is good. I've made my first video TikTok, so you can go and like that and comment on it and tell me how good my hair is, and there you go. Enjoy life, and just filling time before I can push play on this fucking thing.
Remember to find the funny stuff in the middle of the in all the sea of shit that we're in at the moment, because there's still lots of stuff to laugh at.
Well, there you go.
All right. I hope this isn't my last one. I'll bring a computer. I'll bring a computer to Mom's house and we'll do
Oh,
another
absolutely, you have to bring a computer. We're getting real life doctor updates.
one. Yeah. I'll try and keep them less depressing.
Yeah,
All right,
good luck.
see you guys.
Bye.